Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So this video is just going to be Matt Miller's second interview. So if you listen to the first interview, you hear them talking and asking him if he'll come to the station to do another interview. So like an official interview, at the police station. So he goes, he agrees to it. So this is that interview. All right, here it is.
Jonathan DeBoard and myself, Eric Stubbs. Second interview with Matt Miller is going to be at the police department. We are pulling up now. I'm going to place the recorder in the bag, and we will be entering into with, I think it's going to be Detective, who is it, Detective?
Chris Scott.
Chris Scott. So we'll have the recorder in the bag, just like we did the previous interview. The guy's been extremely cooperative and has decided that he wants to turn over everything he has to the police and try to help clear his name. So next few minutes will be us establishing us getting set in the right. They may not let you come back there, but I don't think anybody would. Thank you, sir. Huh? There's our man. There he is. You want the hair down there? Okay. I'll be down there. All right. Good dude. I know this place, so. How you doing? Matt Miller wants to cooperate, and he has a lot of information. A lot of information. Okay. So we've talked to him. He's been utterly cooperative. He's got a lot of stuff in his phone that you guys saved messages, conversations between him and her. They're very interesting, but you're probably going to want copies of the screen. How are you going to get copies? How do you met? In the truck. I usually don't care. I'm in his pants. Well, we got one right here. You just want to do that? I can fill out something right away. I have both of them. You got me I hit some of the high points for you. He confirmed what Dallas said, that she did not fire any guns the night before. I fired guns with my cousin and his friend. And I asked if she wanted to, and she said she's scared to shoot guns. Oh, okay. She also told him that she was, in fact, awakened by the shots similar to what Dallas told us earlier today, and that she found the body, and that he's actually got that. So,
From the text.
so she's very different stories. But anyway, he's got a lot of nice things to say. These are good guys. You're this is legit, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, that sounds right. What are you gonna do? You gonna reach your rights and stuff? That's a formality. You're not in trouble. We're not trying to jam you up.
Yes, sir.
Just stay truthful and tell us what you know. And that's the reason for that, okay?
Yes, sir.
If you restroom or anything,
I'm good. I'm good.
something to drink, smoke break or something before we start?
I just took the smoke break. I'm good. Okay.
I mean, get one of
What's your full name?
Matthew Emerson Miller. M-A-T-H-U.
M-A-T-H-U. Emerson?
Yes, sir.
Miller.
Yes, sir.
Which area?
1898
1898.
C, Long Creek Road.
What's your date of birth?
9/21/93.
9/21/93. Where you born at?
Meridian, Mississippi.
Hold on, wait.
20.
What's your highest level of education?
I went a year in college.
You want to chair it, Alright, just like the set the stop thing now on the list, and just one out we got to do before we take statements, okay? This is your rights. I want you to, before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions or have the present that you're going to any questions. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you by the court before questions, if you wish. If you decide to answer questions without a lawyer, you still have the right to stop answering questions at any time. You also have the right to stop answering questions at any time until you talk to a lawyer. You understand? Yes, sir. Down here at the bottom where there's a rights waiver, what I want you to do is read that to me out loud for me.
I have read the statement of my rights and I understand what my rights are. I do hereby waive all of these rights. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand I know what I am doing. No promises have been made to me and no pressure or concern. Coercion.
That means I ain't putting a gun to your head, maybe tell me something, I ain't beat you up.
Of any kind has been used against me.
You want to make a statement and things, just sign like that for me.
Today's date.
24.
The what?
4. All right, Mr. Miller, so what's the information that you have for me?
You can.
You mean kind of break it down for us, kind of like we did earlier?
Where to start?
Yeah. What we did,
I'll go ahead and pull up.
and yeah, do that for me. Shelley knows. We met with Matt earlier, just before we came down here to Detective, and we explained to him the statement kind of that she had given and kind of that Dylan had given, and he'd kind of filled in some of the gaps and some of the inconsistencies that were different from the story that she'd given. And showing the text messages, we had 3 different sets, remember? Here, I've actually got them on my phone. Let me just show them to you. Here, 'cause we actually did.
I got.
Pull up your screenshot. Or
I got all these, the ones that you told me something completely different. Down here.
Let's do this, we got your pictures.
I mean,
you're good. I know. No one likes to sit around the couch. No, you're good. You're good here, man.
Take a deep breath, relax.
no, I mean, I'm good. It's just,
Yeah, it's a lot to absorb in one night.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the good guys.
Yeah.
These are all good.
Like I said, if you were in trouble, they'd already come and got you, so you're good.
Yeah, I just think it's really trying to get
All
caught
you
up
doing?
on this stuff. I'm trying to sign for a label and everything.
Well, we're gonna get you out of this, you don't worry about it no more.
We did screenshots that you can just read and then swipe. Then when it changes to this, this is another phone. She actually used 3 different phones, 3 or 4 different phones contacting from, each time saying, hey, this is good. Read to that, because that'll kind of explain where he's coming from, because her story,
When I called her at 8 or 9.
Mhm.
I woke up to a call from my cousin Jet, and he was telling me, have you heard about Christian? I didn't know, what's up? He shot himself. So I instantly tried to call Whitley, but it went straight to voicemail.
Mhm.
I guess because her phone was apparently smashed and everything. And I called Dallas, because somebody told me that she was with Dallas.
Mhm.
So I called Dallas and I asked Whitley, and she said we were laying in the bed together and everything, and next thing I know, I woke up to a gunshot. Ran upstairs and found him leaning over the bathtub. What she said, shot in the throat. Mm-hmm. What she said.
and she
And
told
then
the
it
police
changed.
that Dylan had found the body. And then she says in a text message that
Dylan woke her up
and told her to go upstairs
Yeah.
and find it. So you give him a minute to read through those, because that's a lot of stuff to process. It's better we do it this way, bro, than
Yeah.
somebody coming to your work and going, hey, by the way, you've been served under arrest for a murder investigation, you know? This is way easier. Police station just make people nervous.
Yeah.
The fact that you built this, you gave
All
it
of
brown
it.
spot.
See, it leaked.
Yeah, he helped build this place.
It leaked when we first started on this. I promise. I had nothing to do with the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hung the ceiling tile and did the grid and everything.
Uh-huh.
I painted these walls. I hung these walls. Did this, laid the carpet.
It's not helping your case, man.
Yeah, now they're getting mad.
Hey, look, I will redo them for you. Man. Take me 5 minutes.
Probably if you knew it was leaking, but they didn't care.
They didn't care. I was just trying to get done. So,
He just trying to get paid.
Hey, nothing against you. It was people you were working for.
yeah.
And the ones that was paying. Got a lot of personal stuff on you?
My phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was walking around. She was on the personal man.
Well, he actually, he texted me, we went through all she contacted him through 3 or 4 different phones, every time going, hey, this is Whitley. She had a bunch of different phones, because she was running around a bunch of different dudes. But anyway, he texted me all the messages, and I've got like the numbers they were texting.
Oh, he told you all these?
Yeah, if you want me to, I can just email it or text it to you.
Yes, he was throwing everything.
I'll see if I can figure out how to email these things.
Otherwise, they gotta download, everything gets downloaded. Stuff you don't want people to see today.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I
I
mean.
got some good looking girls.
You got weed on your socks, so I know you got some joints in your holes in your photo.
No, I don't take it.
You got some good girls.
I don't-
Okay. We can share.
No, I don't take pictures of
You in college, come in and smoke a joint, say, no, man, smoke a dime.
Look at them.
Are you talking to her on these? Okay, which one are you?
I'll be.
Are you the blue? Oh, blue, yeah. Oh, so you're one of those guys. God, Galaxy, really? Well, I had an iPhone. I had an iPhone, but then I went to
iPhone. Yeah.
You might as well get from someone that knows how to use the iPhone, then, we're all iPhones. So.
It's crazy how everybody here has iPhone.
One guy. You gotta be that guy.
Yeah.
We don't, no, we don't have any money. Oh, it's in my phone.
iPhones have a thing called Find My iPhone. If you lose it, it'll literally help you
Oh,
find
it
it. Yeah.
I
Galaxy's don't
I
have
got that.
It really don't matter. I really don't need to pay.
What's the phone number? We're gonna send it to you. Oh, you got an EPS email to me?
I think I probably can figure out how to,
Just forward and put it in email.
yeah, let me do it. But that's what, I'm not figure out what I have to do. Yeah, see, that's better.
Oh, I shake all the time, like, have my feet like that.
Which email address?
Scott, Marie.org. Chris Scott.
So you use this email address a lot, huh?
All the time. Give it out to a lot of people. Got it on your business card? Yeah, well, actually, I use my personal email address for all the... Oh, we use that. We send you some spam, some porn, all kind of stuff. Chris, now let me check, man, make sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't want everything sent my phone
Nah.
to the police department.
Well, they couldn't do anything with it. I mean, it's... Can I get some kind of waiver or...
Just weed.
These guys ain't worried about weed. Weed's the least of the problems.
Yeah.
If everybody was smoking weed, there'd be a lot less crime.
Right. It's crazy. Like I've had so many of my friends fall off to like meth and stuff.
Yeah, man. Meth.
It's crazy.
I'm not doing the dope thing no more. I have to use
Dope's too expensive, man, like that.
email. I got my own personal thing that I get off from there. I tried to open it up, shoot one day, check it in, they was going, what are you doing? Never mind. Quit. Using that TV.
It helping
It is, isn't it?
You got all that? What was y'all
Let me say
relationship?
where it starts.
I don't, we get that. What was y'all relationship?
Friends with benefits.
You know she was dating?
Something over it.
How long had y'all been together?
Who, me and Whitney? I don't talk to her no more.
I'm talking about before.
I didn't talk to her for months. And then she just randomly snapped at me one day.
She was just fixing, right?
To be
You
honest.
know that means.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean,
I don't. She's a piece of ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime you feel like that, you get up that fast. You know?
well, she hit me up though, but I mean,
That's what we call it.
yeah.
You know what that means?
Yeah, I know.
1970s, maybe.
I know what they mean.
In the 80s, we called them the 3 a.m. girl.
Yeah.
3 a.m. girl.
Yeah. Now, you know, they call me, oh, that's just... Yeah, you know, that one, all that feel, you know, that one right there, that phone. What you doing? Always gonna get that. Come on. You know what now he died, right? That evening.
Yeah.
Tell me about the night before.
I got off work and everything, and she called me, and she said, hey, you want to hang out? I'm like, yeah, well, I'll fix to go hang out with my cousins, and, well, my cousin, his friend and everything, and we was going to chill at his house. I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? And I'm going to tell y'all everything, you know, like, just be honest with y'all. I said, we're probably just going to smoke and drink a little bit and chill. And it's like, okay, that's cool. Well, she's like, that's cool. So she came over, we were just chilling, and we drove a truck into like my cousin's pasture, and he had a gun, and he said, hey, you wanna shoot a couple canes and stuff? I was like, yeah, man, I don't care. So he got out, he shot it a couple times, and his friend shot it like 2 or 3 times, and I shot the rest. And I was like, then he reloaded. I said,
Who y'all shooting?
oh, we were shooting in Cosbyville at his pasture. A pistol. I don't know guns, but I was like, "Will you shoot?" She said, "No, I'm terrified of guns." And when I heard about some of this stuff, I called Jet. I said, "Did Whitney shoot that night? Anything?" He's like, "No, she didn't touch my gun."
Well, after that night.
That night, and
After y'all got through shooting.
after that, she came over and stayed. And then I got up at like 6 o'clock.
What I'm saying is, don't be scared because y'all smoke weed, did cocaine, whatever you did. Just let it know. I mean,
We smoked. We smoked and we chilled a little bit, and we went to my house, and she stay with me. We had sex. I woke up at like 6 o'clock and went to work. Got off at like 3 and went to sleep.
Did you take her back? You say yourself?
No, she drove to my house.
So that was part of what you
Yeah.
left here. And then,
That's it. And then I got home, I went to sleep, and I woke up to those missed calls, and woke up to messages, and I woke up, what woke me up was a phone call from my cousin, asking me if I heard about it, and immediately I tried to call Whitley. Then I tried to call that missed call number, and nobody answered, and then I called Dallas, because that's who Whitley was with, and that's when she told me all that stuff. But until then, I haven't seen her, or made any contact with her, or anything.
What about the night you were with her? Did she take Xanax? You not taking any Xanax at all that night?
I don't know.
You asked her people.
She might have.
Did you, when you got up to go to work the next morning, was she awake or she staying in bed?
She was awake.
Did she act normal, like nothing was wrong? Like she wasn't Xanax out?
She acted like she was tired, but
She didn't act like she was filled up or anything?
I woke up and she woke up too, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to go. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave here shortly. Like, I actually walked her to the car.
Mm-hmm.
She was straight. I was like, you good to drive and everything? She's like, yeah, I'm good. And she drove all the way, I guess, to his apartment, or whoever apartment it was.
Okay. Tonight, did she contact you?
She tried. I was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But I contacted her at like 8 something. Yeah. Find out what was going on.
What she said?
She told me that they were laying in the bed together, and next thing she knew, like they both fell asleep, and next thing she knew that she woke up to a gunshot. Ran upstairs into the bathroom and found him slumped over, and he shot himself in the throat, that's what she said. And then for a couple weeks, I had somebody call me and tell me, like, I guess more information about it, saying that he was shot in the back of the head and stuff. And they're saying that Whitley said that or something. And then she's, oh no, I haven't really.
And what he's referring to in the phone calls is at the time of death of Christian. This is actually Christian's phone.
Mm-hmm.
Is that somebody picked up Christian's phone and called you 7 times, and he didn't answer. You said you were asleep. And then this is him. Let's see where the time goes. And then this is you calling back at 5:11.
So that's her trying to call him again. He didn't call back till like 9 o'clock that night.
Is that like the next page or something?
Yeah.
Anyway, these are somebody was frantically calling him back to back to back to back to back to back to back right at the time of death.
So his official time of death is 3:45 in the afternoon. You keep that. That's yours.
Okay.
I'll make a note on that thing. It says Christian's, her phone was broken, so that's Christian's phone.
Now that night when she told you he shot himself in the throat, yada yada.
I can just remember the main details. It was just that they rode around. They rode around that day, and they went to spots, I guess, that were special to them, I think. And Whitley said that he seemed down the whole day or something. And I just remember something. I remember her saying that Christian said he was going to shoot himself. She said, don't shoot yourself in the face. She told me that. I just remember that. She he said, I'm going to shoot myself. She said, don't shoot yourself in the face.
How old are you know Christian?
I grew up with him until I was like 14 or 15.
In your opinion, do you think he's that type of person who will do something like that?
I don't see why he would. I mean, he's making good money and has a nice house and family and everything. I don't see why he would. I think he'd do it over a girl.
Why would he all of a sudden tell you something like that? So why would he tell you to say, don't shoot yourself in the face?
I have no idea. I just remembered that. I got some buddies that were with me and she said that. Like, I had her on speakerphone. I got some buddies that were sitting beside her.
No text messages. Y'all was texting back and forth. Kind of explain more to me about those text messages. I mean, tell me about it.
Which one's about the one on
The one's about, I text her because I heard that she told, saying that, this is when I found out Dylan apparently found the body. I texted her, I said, did you find the body or did Dylan find the body? And she told me Dylan, and then that's when I started saying, why are you telling me all this different stuff? Because she literally told me a whole different story.
And what story was that?
When they fell asleep in the bed,
Mm-hmm.
she went up there and found him. She woke up to the gunshot. But then she said that Dylan came in and woke her up because he found him. And I just don't know. Like,
Now, when she said Dylan found him dead, and you asked her, why did she tell the switch the story around, what did she say?
she said I did switch the story around. I was like, I didn't have no like proof of her telling me the first story because she didn't text me that. She told me that over the phone. But to see, I was like, you literally told me that you woke up to the gunshot and you found him. And then she's saying that Dylan found him. Like after walking in from Best Buy or something. She was asleep the whole time.
Now, what are you going to do?
I see him, I say, what's up? Keep going.
Did you know Dylan and Woody had a relationship?
Yes. When she used to get fucked up, she'd go stay with him. If he lives in Doublewood, she lives in Doublewood.
Stay with him, just to get the sober up or what?
Both. Yeah. I really didn't know the relationship that good, but coming from another friend who knows them pretty good, that she used to go over to Dylan. And my other friend told me that, the same friend told me that Christian and Dylan wasn't good friends.
That's kind of what the mom and everybody said too. They weren't
really good friends.
Maybe they were a little bit when they were younger, but they weren't. They weren't tight.
That's how me and Christian were.
They weren't tight like Dylan is trying to make it.
But the biggest thing, in going through these text messages, you said, like you said, she tells you, she tells the police, I think she tells the police that I was asleep, Dylan woke me up and said he found Christian in the bathroom.
Right.
I think that's what she said, right? And then she tells you she woke up to a gunshot and found Christian. And then she texts you, I woke up to a gunshot or something, or Dylan came in and told me to go check on him, and I walked up there and she found him. So there's like 4 different stories. 2 of them she finds him, 2 of them Dylan finds him.
That's what I kept asking. I was like, what? Like, I don't know. There was many nights where me and my buddies would just sit there and just say, like, just trying to add it all up, like what really happened, like trying to put pieces together. I don't know.
This is the timeline as far as,
And I talked to, here's another thing, I got something too.
you don't know anybody that drives a gold truck with tinted windows and loud pipes that come out behind the rear tire, not straight pipes out the back, but
Like a Chevrolet, he's the other one.
yeah.
Goldish color, tannish gold color.
Tyler Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
This is his cousin. He's my distant cousin.
Who's that?
Christian. I'm related to Judge Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Who's right beside me. Well, just remember, Tyler wrote me on here. He called me and everything.
Where do you find, just do a screenshot, and I'm gonna have to text them to you. I can't get the email to work, whatever. What's a good number to, is that right there, is that 513?
Yeah.
Cause
Well, you can, what's the link? Or the city computers, it was up to the city, so you download, and you just print
well,
out.
this thing ain't getting
Okay.
up, no city computer.
No, I'm saying, no, I'm gonna say, don't do that.
What's wrong with you, man?
No,
This is
But who-
March the 2nd at 7:36 p.m. He wrote me. You want to take the time to read all this?
You do that.
Who wrote you that?
His cousin telling me, like, at first he was threatening me
Yeah. You, I got a question I'm talking about.
Why would he be threatening you?
because I'll go ahead, here's what he said. I'll go ahead and tell you that if I find out you had a single thing to do with the death of my cousin Christian, I will personally make sure you get what you deserve. That's not a threat, that's a fucking promise. Everyone knows, even the detectives, that he didn't do this himself. That's not the type of person he was, and the way the crime scene was laid out, he did not look like a suicide. If you had anything to do with it, or hide or run, or whatever you got to do, well, we will find out soon what happened. You just better pray to God or whoever you worship that you had nothing to do with it. You want me to read what I said, whoa, how did my name get brought into this, man? On everything I love in this world, I was asleep when all of this went down. I woke up to a call from Jet Miller, my cousin, telling me about it, so I instantly tried to call Whitley and found out her phone was off. But I had 5 missed calls from, I guess, Christian's phone around 3:30 to 4 p.m. I'm trying to figure out just as much as you. She's been texting me, but I've been avoiding her. Like, dude, why would I do something like that? I had no problem with the guy. I didn't talk to him, but I had nothing against him. I'm sorry about all of this, but how did my name get brought into this? I mean, I have witnesses that saw I was asleep during the time. You coming at me like I'm a murderer. And I said, I'll talk to the police, show them my phone, do fingerprints, whatever I got to do. Then he said, okay. He said, okay, man. I mean, it's just chatter, and I'm just emotional over everything, and I just want to get to the bottom of it because I just could never see him doing this to himself or his family. I just had heard and just was pissed off because I thought me and you were cool. But if you say that and all, then I'll take your word, man. Keep going. You want to read this? I hate school, man.
It's all right. I mean,
God, get me, man. For real, get me.
okay. What all have you heard?
Man, I've had people come up to me and ask me if I was the suspect. I haven't heard anything from
The last time you talked to him,
a long time.
all time was what? Just April.
Well, that day, those messages, I guess March the 4th.
You didn't talk to us yet.
Can you kick the water since week?
I don't know.
What?
Fuck that.
But why haven't you? I mean, I'm just asking, why?
I just don't want to get in the middle of all this stuff going on. I didn't even think I was in the middle of it until like just random people started asking me, and then I started wondering and stuff. I was like, why am I getting on into this? I mean, she was with me the night before, but I have not seen her since that night.
Have you ever been on to the apartment?
Yeah, that's it. I have no idea what apartment it was. Where Willow Ridge, I know where that is, but I have no idea.
But you never brought you over there, you never met him?
Never.
Yeah, sure.
What kind of truck is that?
Black F-150 SDS 2008 model.
Did Christian ever approach you about Whitney?
There was a
Y'all never contacted each other?
me and Kristen.
You know, and he about Whitney, and he questioned, nothing like that.
No problems between me and Whitley. We had a problem on
Not between you and Christian?
Christian.
yeah, I mean, I've never had a problem with him between,
About Whitley.
about Whitley. We've had a problem when I was like 15.
Yeah.
He spray painted my truck. But we shook hands, agreed to it, he paid my dad, and everything was cool. Everything was cool. Everything was dead. I saw him at Walmart one time, and I was like, "What's up, man?" Did that thing.
Now, Christian did know about Whitley and Matt. We know that, right? Because that's why he was coming home,
Yeah.
was to kick her out. And in a text message, like on that timeline, let's see, if they got into town around 11:30 o'clock, Christian and Dylan are in the truck together, they're pulling into Meridian, whatever, he's about to go catch, he thinks he's about to go catch Matt and his girl, and he texts, that's what those first two text messages were. Christian texts Matt from his own phone and says, "Hey, what time you want to hang out today? This is Whitley, by the way." 15 minutes goes by, he writes, "Answer." Matt replies back at 6:05. 6:05, the day of the death, so this would have been, you replied back after the time of death, which is 3:45, 16:45. I've been asleep. So, Christian, I guess, was gonna try to lure or see where you were at or whatever, I don't know.
He was, it sounds like he was Whitney. Gonna come out, when you gonna meet Whitney, and then you gonna end up meeting him.
Mm-hmm.
That was that. You know he was tracking that phone,
I thought they broke up.
you know what she told you.
He said that he was seeing another girl in Birmingham.
That's what she said.
What was she supposed to be staying? What was she staying with, she said?
She stayed at my house.
But they broke up. Where do you know her to live at?
Dallas, Devin, a girl named Devin, and I didn't even really know she lived with Chris, to be honest.
Where did she get that car from?
Christian.
Now, they supposed to be broke up, and she's still driving his car. I think that's still off some signal. That's like a big ass thing.
But see, I didn't know that it was his car until after the fact, until my friend told me. See, I haven't talked to Whitley in months before this. Before all this happened, I hadn't talked to her.
No, I'm talking about before. She had a car before.
Yeah, I know.
Why y'all was still left alive? I thought she was what they want to.
Yeah, but I didn't know that Christian got that car from her.
Detective Scott, those pictures come through.
I will come through on that city phone. I was trying to avoid using this one. But it says 1 of 18, multimedia and open operations cell.
I'll just print them. But on Matt's side here, when he was speaking to us earlier, we broke it down. We basically told him, we're not trying to get him in trouble. We're trying to eliminate suspects just to get to the end of this thing. And that y'all got more cases than y'all can handle. And he gave us his story. He gave us his whole version of the story, which coincided with the timeline that we had. And then we showed him the messages from Christian's phone between Christian and Whitley. like I said, it's private, nobody's gonna see it, and there's nothing legal about it. But these are messages between Christian and Whitley. And Matt read those messages. He read them in detail, and he knows what that means. And then we went through the story again, and the story has changed. And he's becoming, I mean, he's been cooperative from the get-go, but I think after you read those, you'll see that he has no reason to protect her. You know, she's a snake in the grass. Yeah. So any details you got, tell these guys.
With this thought from how long, you know, how long y'all been, you know, hanging out or whatever?
I've known her for a while, but like, I mean, that was the second time I've ever slept with her. It wasn't nothing serious.
Kind of, you know, just kickstand.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I try to bring any certain details about that night.
It's just, you know, what, you know, anything that she said. I mean, and honestly, what's your opinion? Your opinion? What you think?
What I think that happened?
Right. I mean, that's fine. Just what do you think that happened? What you think happened? I mean, honestly. I mean, you're not getting yourself in jail. I mean, that's just your opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think happened?
I think she killed him.
Why do you think she? Why would you think she did it?
I just don't think Christian killed herself.
Because
His cousin told me that he left everything on the boat, all his stuff. He was, I mean, and then, like I said, he makes hella money. Hella money. I mean, I just don't think he'd stress over a 16, 17-year-old
piece of ass, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, if I
would stress over one now.
Yeah,
they walk in and say, I'm out.
But
Whitley's the guy that kept the liquor on the patio, say, okay, start all over again. But I don't want to make it even more money.
I don't know. Dylan's always been a snake in the grass, too.
You think Dylan was fucking too?
Yeah.
You think Dylan had something to do with it?
The murder?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
she capable of shooting man? You think she's familiar with Dylan? You think she could?
No, she's not familiar with the gun. That's another thing that we don't get either. She was terrified.
I mean, he bought a car. I mean, you gotta look at the other side of it too. Now, he's making hell of money.
Yeah.
You know, he puts her in what, 3, 5 series? What she got?
It's a Benz?
BMW?
BMW?
Well, you know, your whip, right?
Yeah, I know my whip.
So she had a 3 or 5 series.
I think it was a 5
You
series.
know, here she is, 18 years old, got a 5 series whip. This guy making money like that. That makes you something like that. Shit. He didn't give a damn thing, you know, if he was like that, just kickstanding him, and he was like, move on. He could have put in a Chevrolet Bolt, something cheap or a used car. If she riding around like that, boom, da-da-da.
Yeah.
Obviously, she had a hook in him somewhere or another. What you think?
Yeah.
I mean, she's a freak, right? You know, what you think about that?
Would you protect that bitch?
I'm telling you, man, it's kind of fucking embarrassing, man.
It ain't nothing you do.
I mean, I didn't know.
It happens all day long, bro. But, I mean, you ain't the only one she's done that to.
Yeah. I mean,
You know
I'm
what I'm
going
saying?
to the doctor tomorrow.
Huh?
I'm going to the doctor tomorrow. Shit.
You ain't raw dog, did you?
No. I never raw dog.
You get like, all right.
I'm going to fuck this bulletproof. Hell yeah.
You know, she didn't mention that shit to you. She'll lie to you about that. She already done told 4 different stories on, you know, that 5 minutes, you know, of whatever happened in that bathroom. Like I said, you know, somebody staged the bathroom scene. Was it her? Was it Dylan? Was it whatever? I told him earlier, I said, just playing devil's advocate. I said, just me being the jury, I said, you're the guy, you're the tattooed rapper guy, that was, you know, that she was cheating on her hard-working man with, I said, it ain't looking good. So it's in his best interest to come forward, you know, and help us. Because Dylan seems a little slimy, you know. He seems a little, I don't know, somebody moved him. We just want to move.
Anything can you tell me?
Pretty much got everything that I've talked to
Yeah,
her
I
about.
took the contact you the last few weeks.
She was with a girl named Devin Garrett.
Uh-huh.
That last message said smoke one. Wait, it said, you don't live forever, smoke one. And I write her back. The boy.
Thought you just all of a sudden said that's it.
She just out of the random. Look, March 26th. Life's too short, smoke. Like, you sick on that.
I'm telling you, man.
You know how
That made me want to pin a bitch to the wall, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he did a little bit.
And then I don't see every day, you know what I'm saying? And be embarrassed about it, ain't leaving the room. But that helps them understand where you're coming from and the kind of person she is, character-wise.
I mean, there's a lot of it in my life, but back then, we didn't have to worry about nothing like this now.
Shit get crazy out
I
here.
ran through a few myself, like, God damn it, what the hell did I do this? Why don't you go back today? You know what, why don't you go home and just be taking it? Back in the day, the only thing I had to worry about was the ticket for the class or my life.
I'll make y'all some copies of this too. Detective, this is Christian's bank statement.
Uh-huh.
And that puts Dylan, who said he went to Chick-fil-A. Tell me about that part.
Can we have a copy of what, that and that?
Yeah, I'll make y'all
Oh,
copies.
you
I'll-
know about the Chick-fil-A?
Willie told me that he ran to Best Buy. Came back.
breakdown.
No. She told me he went to Best Buy, but the reason he left because they were arguing is he wouldn't give him some time.
That's when he went to Best Buy.
Yeah.
But tell us when the Chick-fil-A got there. Do you know anything about Chick-fil-A? Dylan's story is that him and Christian come into town, they get home, of course, they start fighting or whatever. He's like, I'm going to go get some food. He goes to Chick-fil-A at 1:26 or whatever. So he comes back. Or he ran a couple errands or whatever. He comes back with food. They said Christian was the only one that ate and that nobody else ate and that Whitley didn't eat. And he said, you know, eat your food, don't be a bitch or something like that. And they started going at it again. And they said, we're going to go for a ride. And that's when they supposedly went to Bonita or wherever.
I
Okay?
went to special spots.
Is that what she said? Did she mention
Like spots that I guess meant something to him.
multiple spots?
Multiple spots.
So not like, did she say where that would be?
No.
But she said multiple spots.
Multiple spots. Saying like stuff that like throwback memories or something.
Okay, because see, she told, or Dylan said that she told him that they went to Bonita.
Yeah, I didn't ask where they went or anything.
And so that put that bank, that bank statement.
Look cool up here, man. Man, I'm not, I don't know what it is. Oh, no, you gotta breathe me, man. All right, I'll stop. You plan on cutting me or something? I'll put it back there. Oh, okay. No, I ain't got started, moving. I've been just kind of thinking. I got everybody at home used to it now, watching like, oh, see that there, keep like 7 feet. Okay, just what he's gonna do, he's gonna just tell him, start, approximately how long you know him several years, but then we're going to, tell him about thing when she texts you the night before what happened during that night, and then we're gonna go into a thing of, you know, question and answers. And I mean, after that, you want to summarize and give your opinion on what happened? Free to do that. I mean, you know, just relax, don't be nervous, you know.
People talking about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard.
I'm gonna go see what they got up here real quick. And,
Well, they got somebody.
that thing, he got one of mine. That's why I heard I could deal with that.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So, can I start the day, or do I need to go all the way back to when I really first met
This
her?
is gonna be, he's writing down, I mean, this is gonna be official. So if I were you, I would, you know, pull out your text message, you know, whatever, go step by step with him, because this is gonna be what clears your name, you know what I'm saying? So don't cut any corners, don't leave out any details, take your time. Detective, y'all have a copy machine? Somebody out there can show me?
Yeah, it would be in a,
Okay. I'm gonna make y'all, I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing, and I'm gonna go make some copies and get you some stuff,
Okay.
to, leave with you. And I'm gonna copy everything and, all that good stuff.
okay. Yeah, now, what I want is from the beginning, when you talk to, okay, what I mean was, the night you got the text, how well, y'all know, I mean, basically, you've been knowing her for this long, y'all been dating, she called you this particular time on this date, all the way.
I met her when I was 18 years old. I would go to Delwood and chill at her house with her mom and her, and what they call my friend.
I was 18 years old in Delwood, yes.
Through a mutual friend.
Okay. And then was a mutual friend, and you said, and you hang out at her house?
I used to hang out at her house, and we used to hang out and smoke and stuff. As a year or so went by, she was really wild at one point. Whitley was, like, how you doing?
Not the text stuff.
No, how you doing, man? She got wild at one point, and she kind of died down and cleared her name out where nobody really heard about her for a while, and, yeah, my fault. I'm trying not to talk too fast.
After she cleared her name.
She cleared her name. A year goes by.
Yeah,
A year goes by.
you said a year go by, she was really wild.
Yeah,
She kind of quiet down.
she quiet down and everything.
Yeah,
And,
a year went by?
yeah, a couple months or a year, yeah. I was 20 at this time when it happened. And then one day she randomly Snapchatted me while I was at work. A couple days before the incident. We were just talking and catching up. We're talking and catching up with what's been going on. Asked her about Christian, and she said that they broke up because he's been seeing this girl from Birmingham. It was either Birmingham or Tuscaloosa, one of them. Hattiesburg. But she said that he was seeing another girl. Yeah. Yeah. We came to the agreement that we wanted to hang out with each other. I asked her to hang out. She said it's cool. She wants to. None of the stuff that happened that night was planned. Like, we wasn't talking like that to each other. Like, we wasn't flirting or anything. It was just supposed to be chill. With a couple friends. She ended up meeting me at El Chipo's. No, she met me at the show. She met me at the show in Southeast. She met me first at El Chipo's, but she drove me to the show. She didn't want to go car there.
So she met you at
The show in Southeast. She jumped in the truck with me, and we went to Jet's, my cousin. Cousin. We sat around, watched TV, played pool, smoked, talked for a little while. So they're going to read about the smoking?
It don't.
They don't.
I don't care about that. You said, man, you smoke a whole pound of weed. I don't even fly.
Alright, man. That's all I do, man. I promise.
I don't care. You do whatever you want to do. Well, float them over.
Oh, yeah, man. Appreciate it. Where's it at? We just did.
Play food.
Jet ended up asking if we wanted to go shoot guns. Yeah. I was like, yeah, man. Got in the truck and drove down into the pasture, right behind his house. We ended up shooting. Jet shot his friend and me. Shot at Cannon. I specifically asked Whitley if she wanted to shoot it. She said no, she's terrified of guns. After that we went back up, and me and Whitley left to take her back to her car, and this was 1 o'clock in the morning. Went back to the shell, asked her if she wanted to stay or if she wanted to drive home, and she said she would stay with me. Do I have to add in about the sex, or can I just say she came over and we went to sleep?
This is your statement.
Okay. And is this going to be read out to everybody?
If it goes,
Okay.
but this clear.
I mean, I really don't.
Now, we don't have to do this.
No, I
But
want
then
to.
you be pulled in.
Hell no, I want to do this. I mean, I just, okay. She came over, and we ended up having sex, and then going to sleep. Okay. Next morning, woke up at about 6:30, 6:37. I was already late for work. We both got up.
Yeah, both of them got up around 6 or 7.
Yes, sir. Both got up, walked into her car.
Okay, I want to do a car.
Asked her if she was good to drive, and she said yes. And that's when we parted ways. I went to work, she, I guess, went to Christian's. Was that Christian's house, or?
Uh-huh. His apartment.
Somebody told me it was his brother's.
I think it's more than that.
Oh. I worked. I worked from about 7:45 to 3. I was in Russell at the time. If that's important. I was in Russell at the time, working at a factory. Got home about 3:30, laid on the couch, dozed off, watching TV. woke up at around 8 something, around the 8 time, from a call from my cousin, asking me if I knew what happened to Christian, or if I've heard. Woke up to that call. He told me about Christian killing himself, commit suicide. So I immediately tried to call Whitley, but her phone was off. I don't have Chris's number saved in my phone, so I didn't know who it was. And then that's when I tried to get in touch with Whitley to ask her what happened. She told me that she told me that Christian found out about me and her. And they went to several different spots, and he was upset. She said that they went back to the house and laid down, and they fell asleep together. And she woke up to a gunshot. Ran upstairs and found him slumped over the tub. Saying with a bullet hole through his throat. Or he was shot in the throat. And she said, I talked to her and tried to calm her down. She was crying. She was with Dallas. I talked to her, tried to calm her down. She said she was crying. And then after that phone call, I didn't talk to her for a couple weeks.
until he calms down. You talk to her, trying to calm her down.
Well, I didn't talk to her for about a week or a half.
After that.
I talked to her March the 4th.
Just after you try to calm her down.
After I calmed her down, I did not talk to her. This was the day it happened, around 8 or so.
Look, when she, okay. Okay. Around 8 or so, that's what you called her?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, make sure you get that in there.
He, at 8 p.m. you called her.
At 8 p.m. I called her. Do you want me to tell you that I tried to call? I called Whitley's phone, it was off. I tried to call Kristen's phone, nobody answered.
That's at 8.
That was at 8.
Okay. Around 8 p.m. I tried to call Whitley's phone. Did you call me?
I called Dallas.
You called Dallas.
And I asked if she was with Whitley. She was, and Whitley got the phone.
Did you have to talk to her? So we don't call.
That's when she told me that story. Did you already get the story? The one about they fell asleep? Yeah. Where she blew.
Huh? Well, tell it to me again, because I know it's up there, but tell it to me again.
Okay.
Over that story that she was, what, laying in the bed and hurt nothing?
That they fell asleep together, and she woke up to a gunshot and found it. And she woke up to a gunshot right up there.
That's over by Woodstock there? How far down is it? On 10th already, 10th yet? Okay. I'm gonna go out here, they got one DMECA truck stolen. I'm gonna try to get a few, I'm headed that way, alright. The call for the detective, I'm gonna just throw some dust on it. Ain't got no suspect. And check and see if you got video on this, I'll go out there and try.
Alright.
DMECA truck that's stolen? She said that there was a bullet, or he shot himself in the throat. That's what she said.
about 2 o'clock or so. Well, maybe a little bit earlier than that. It's probably about, just before I went to that class, so it had to be about 9:15.
Okay. And I gotta go, it's like, from a week from then. Well, she constantly, she tried to get in touch with me a couple times, but I avoided it. Didn't answer, didn't respond to her.
This was after.
This was after I got off the phone with her that night. After we hung up. After we hung up, she would try to contact me a couple times, but I avoided it. But I would avoid it.
You was a woman or you were a woman?
I was avoiding. So about a week goes by, and I hear a different story. A week goes by, I hear a different story, so I text her and ask her if she found the body or did Dylan find the body.
Right. I figured they'd be waterboarding you by now.
Matt, get out of here. I appreciate you coming down, talking to these guys. We'll take care of you. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. All right. Appreciate it. Let's go.
Hey, you here almost killed my partner? You here?